Hello everyone, this is Venkatamurali Krishna. Today we are going to install STS in our Windows 11 system, and then we are going to execute the STS programs in our system. Before going to start the session, I want to clarify that why we are going to install STS when we already have Eclipse. Yes or no? When we already have Eclipse, why we have to install it? By using STS, developer task will be decreased, and the performance means as per the complexity. If I am going to give a complex application to Eclipse, it will take so much time to run when compared to STS. Not only that, configuration also, we are going to have manual configuration in Eclipse, but in STS we will have automatic configuration. So every time you have to do boilerplate tasks in Eclipse. If you are going to use STS, no need of boilerplate task. I will give you a simple example. Right now I am going to execute a JDBC program. To execute a JDBC program in Eclipse, we have to use MySQL connector. The MySQL connector dependency is present in Maven repository. So you are going to go to Maven repository, copy the code and paste it in our pom.xml. But in STS, no need to do that. Directly we can take it, automatically MySQL connector will add into your project. Understood? And also, if you are going to use STS, directly the configuration data we can give it in the application.properties file. But in Eclipse, everything you have to write manually. Even if you are going to use XML, then you have to configure this manually. That's why we are going to use STS over Eclipse. But remember, Eclipse also works fine, no need to worry. I want to tell you a similarity between Eclipse and STS. Both the layouts and everything is exactly same. Exactly same, I am telling you. If you know how to use Eclipse, then you are able to use STS also. The main purpose is, if you are going to use STS, developer task will be so easy. Understand? That's why we are going to install Eclipse. Let us start the installation of Eclipse. First, I am going to open my web browser. Here I am going to search STS download. You can see spring.io. Click on tools spring. Now you can see here Spring tools for VS Code. This is for VS Code, but I'm going to use this STS separately. So I will go to Eclipse, and then you can see, so Spring tools for Eclipse, Linux ARM, and then others. You can see here Windows. Click on this Windows. Now the file will be downloaded. So the file, actually, how much MB it is taking? 553 MB, right? Let it download, no problem. I'm going to create a new folder here. I'm going to say it as Spring Tool Suite installation. Okay, this is the installation folder. Now I'm going to extract it. So WinRAR extract, I'm going to extract files. I'm going to extract files. Where I'm going to extract it? In the desktop, in the Spring Tool Suite installation part. Click on OK. Automatically the WinRAR file will be extracted easily. Without WinRAR, if you are going to extract, it may take more time. Understand? That's why I am advising you to download WinRAR. Let it extract everything. Extracted. Now you can see inside Spring Tool Suite installation, this is the installation folder. So I am going to open it. So you can see STS 5.0.1 release. This is the latest version. Previously we used to have STS 4. Okay, so click on this. You can see so many files. So you can click on Spring Tools for Eclipse. Click on this. So Spring Tool for Eclipse. Let it open. It will take some time when you are going to open for the first time. Now you can see, select a directory as Workspace. Simple. I want to tell you. Now I want to, whatever the STS programs, whatever the programs that I am going to do in STS, I want to store it in a place, right? So where I have to store it? So it is your wish. That is what the Workspace is. So here I am going to click on browse, and then inside the desktop I am going to create a new folder. I am going to say, in this folder I am going to write it as my Spring programs. You can see the difference between these two folders. This is where our installation is done. This is where I am going to write all my Spring programs. So here I am going to select this folder and click on launch. That means whatever the programs that I am going to do in STS, all the programs will be saved in this path. Click on launch. Let it launch. Now you can see the layout here. You can see the layout here. Whatever the layout that you are going to see, it is exactly same as what? Eclipse layout. Yes, if you know how to use Eclipse, then I'm telling you, you are able to use STS easily. Understood? Because both the layouts and working exactly same. Now I want to create a new project in this STS. Go to file, create, click on new, and then click on Spring Starter project. Now you can see name of the project. I will just say it as first spring project, first spring application, and you can see where this application is stored right now in this path. That means in our desktop, in my spring programs, first application. This type is important. Right now I am going to use, instead of Gradle Groovy, I am going to use what? Maven. And you can see the Java version. You have to make sure that in your system JDK is already installed. Understand? So you know how to check whether JDK is already installed or not. Open your command prompt, just type Java. That's it. If you are going to get a group of instructions, then Java is installed, right? So just check whether Java is installed or not before going with this installation. Now what is my JDK version? I want to check my JDK version. So in the same way, I am going to open my command prompt. So here I am going to say it as Java space hyphen version. If you are going to see, if already JDK is present in your system, it will give you the version. I have already installed. So what is the installation? What is the version? 21. If you do not install, you will get a error. Understood? So here I am going to go for Java 21. Okay. What is the package you want to go for? The package that I want to give is, so I want to give this naming in a proper way. Remember, if you are going to give this package name in a different way, then 100% there is a chance that you may get errors in your project. I am going to use the package name as com.codinghub. Okay, this is important, guys. You may think that, sir, package is my wish, right? You can write it's your wish, but I want to tell you there is a concept called as component scan concept. Understood? So in this concept, if you are going to write your package name in a different way compared to others, you will get an error. Understood? Now I am going to click on next. Here I can select any of the dependencies here. This is what the main flexibility of STS. If I am going to use STS, what will happen, directly I can check the dependencies from here. Right now I want to execute a standalone application. That's why I am going to click on next and click on finish. Right. You can see our first Spring application is created. You can see our first Spring application is created. Right. Now I am going to open this. I am going to let it download. It is downloading. Check it once. It is downloading. Okay. It is downloading its content. So when you are going to install STS and when you are going to work with STS, better you are connected with the internet. Understood? So let it download all the content that it need. So import getting started. So 66%. Now see here, 80% and done. Now I can open my, I am going to open my src main Java. Here com.codinghub is there. I am going to open my first Spring application, and then so control plus, it will increase your font, not font actually, the size of the window. In Spring framework, in the Spring Boot mainly, program will be executed from the main method itself, whether it's a web application or it's a standalone application. So I want to check whether system.out.println syso control space bar, I am going to say it as hello world, this is Chitty. So I am going to save it. So on this particular source file, I am going to right click on this, run as Spring Boot app. It will ask you to Spring tool suite for Eclipse. So one window is there, click on allow. Java TM platform SC library, click on allow. Right now you can see hello world, this is Chitty. This is a standalone application. Now I want to build a web application. Go to file, new, Spring Starter project. So I am going to go for web application. I am not changing anything, even the package name also. So click on next. Here For a web application, we have to use Spring Web dependency. Spring Web, I am going to use Spring Web dependency is used to execute web applications. Without this Spring Web, you are not able to execute the web applications. That's why I have imported the Spring Web. If you see in the Eclipse, to get this Spring Web, you have to go to the Maven repository, copy the dependency there, and then you have to paste it in your project, right? Which is easy right now. You don't have to go to the browser and then you don't have to search. Directly you just select it. Understand? Directly you will get the dependency. Now, not only Spring Web, I am going to use Spring Boot DevTools. Spring Boot DevTools. The main purpose of Spring Boot DevTools is every time I don't have to run the application. Once if I am going to change the source code, automatically it has to load, right? That's why I am going to use Spring Boot DevTools. Click on next and click on finish. You can see it is importing. Let it import. So web application. Now, so let me open my magnifier. You can see in the magnifier we discussed src main java means the source files that we are going to use. Src main resources means application.properties. What is this application.properties file? This application.properties file is to provide configuration information to the application. Some inputs it is going to provide. Normally, if you are going to use JDBC program, in the JDBC program itself, you are going to define driver path, after that username, password, etc. That information you are going to specify it here, right? If you are going to use Eclipse and if you are going to use XML, then what you have to do, there manually you have to give. Here, you just have to give spring.datasource.username. Simple, one statement. That's why I'm telling you now, if you are a developer, better use STS instead of Eclipse. For complex applications, STS is the best choice. Even you can execute in the Eclipse, but best choice is what? STS. Now, if you are going to use, so test Java, it is used for unit testing. Okay. So I'm not going to use this JRE system library predefined and Maven dependencies. Right now, how many Maven dependencies are there means you can see so many Maven dependencies are there. Okay. Spring Beans, Spring AOP, and you can see Spring Boot Servlet and Spring Starter projects and Spring Jackson. After that, Tomcat server and then Spring Web MVC. Okay, so we have selected Spring Web. After that, Spring Boot DevTools. You can see somewhere Spring Boot DevTools also. Okay, you can see Spring Core and Spring Context also. The point is simple, guys. So here, Spring Starter project is a collection of dependencies. Understood? Did you select the Spring Core and Spring Context? No. Then how did you get this? If you are going to use Spring Starter project, automatically these dependencies are present in your project. That's why it is easy. Now let us go to pom.xml. In the pom.xml, okay, you can see in the pom.xml, so you can see Spring Starter Web MVC that we have selected, Spring Boot DevTools that we have selected, and then Spring Boot Starter Web MVC, and these two automatically we have got it. Understand? Right? Automatically we have got it. The point is simple, guys. When you are going to use Spring STS, it is easy for us. No need to do separate manual thing. Okay. Now let us open our project web application. So I want to execute this program right now. I'll just click on new. I'm going to create a class. Here I'll just say it as sample class and then click on finish. I'm going to use @REST controller. I'm going to create a handler / now I'm writing it as public string m1 of return hi all, happy learning. I have written. So you can see here get mapping is there. Control Shift to press it, automatically you will get it. Now right click on your project, not on the SRC, right click on your project, run as Spring Boot app. Okay, in the Spring Boot app you can see here, what you can see. So here, what is the Tomcat port that you are using? 8080. Now I am going to open my browser. Okay, in the browser I am going to go for localhost full colon 8080 / click on enter. You can see hi all, happy learning. Are you able to see it or not? So a web application. So a simple web application you are able to do it. But remember one thing, when you are going to stop the, when you are want to close the application, when you want to relaunch the application, better off this particular button. Okay, that is you are off, you are disabling the server. Okay, that's how we can write our program in STS and we can install STS. That's what the advantage of STS. Sir, what about uninstallation of STS, sir? Go to control panel. In the control panel, so uninstall a program. Are you able to see STS over here? No. So if you want to delete, so sir, I do not want STS. Okay, then what you have to do was you have to delete the STS installation directory. Okay, if you see here, these are the programs that I have written. I don't want to touch it. I want to delete Spring Toolsuite installation. If you are going to delete this, automatically STS will be deleted. So you want to see, I am going to delete this. I am moving it to bin. Automatically it will be deleted. So it is open in here. So that's why close this. Now it is deleted. See, now if you want to open STS, you are not able to see. Automatically STS is deleted from your system. Okay, that's how we have installed. After that, we have executed our web application and standalone application, and then we have uninstalled the STS from our system. Understood? Here you have to understand only one thing, guys. When you are going to execute the STS programs, first you have to get all the dependencies by selecting the available tools there itself. Okay, so that's all for now, guys. That's all for today. Thank you.